I'm sure you've heard by now that the new map 3 Mines Around has pretty much completely changed Chimps mode BT6 forever. With the main reason being you can make way more money than usual by mining these gems. On this map there are 6 places to mine that give you money after 10 rounds of investing money. So they vary from as low as $400 to as high as, on the bottom right, a whopping $100,000 to remove, but you gain 60k in the process. And so this gimmick allows you to afford way more things than you normally could in Chimps mode, breaking a lot of records in the process. So what I'm gonna do is, one, I'm gonna use Supermines. Supermines is just one of many things you can do on this map, and with Supermines, I'm going to attempt a 2 Megapops. Because apparently at the time of this recording, it hasn't actually been done yet, but I'm not sure if that's just because no one has actually gone to it. More than it is actually difficult. This probably changes by the time this video is uploaded, but as of right now, it looks like on this list, yeah, it's not there yet. But as you can see, Supermines has already been done on other maps before with this challenge. So it's not necessarily new, but it should be a lot easier. Because we can't afford sub though, I'm just gonna, or SPAC, I'm just gonna start with the sub into a Spike Factory. Now, in case 2 Megapops is actually too easy for this tower, another rule or challenge I'm going to add to myself is to head over past 100 rounds, because normally this 2 Megapops challenge is only for the first 100 rounds, aka 2 million pops on this tower out of the 2.04 that are allotted. And now that we got the Spike Factory down, what I'm going to do is, because I don't need much more money, I'm just going to start mining out. We'll make $400 profit by removing this on round 21. The next cheapest one is over here at $3,000. I bet I could probably do that, I don't know, thinking about round 30 or so. The hero choice also shouldn't really be a surprise either. Striker Jones gives 25% pierce at level 8, so put him as far away as possible to not get pops. I'm gonna buy a 220, and I think now we can save up for the 3k upgrade. My one concern right now is the Rigo Zebras on round 31, so I'm not sure what I want to do about that. I'm thinking, oh no. We had the sub hit the Rigos twice there. That's not good. Striker ability will stun them, but okay, we've already run into a roadblock pretty quickly, but I think if I just buy Spike Mines first, or Spike Balls first, forget about the investment, then we should be able to handle the Rigo farm, right? Yeah, attaboy. And round 35, let's get it. A profit of 1,600. Unfortunately, I only get that after round 40, but honestly, this map is so long that, like, this Spike Factory will carry. So also at this point, I'm gonna have the sub stop stealing pops and just go for a 300 sub. The beauty of sub in this challenge. And if round 40 is an issue, I think I'm just gonna out buff. Actually, forget round 40. Apparently, this is not enough spikes for round 39, so I will get that now. Not ideal though, because the Alp, as you see, is going to get a lot of pops every round, because Bloons are always going to be here every round. Round 40 shouldn't be an issue. It's more about grouped rounds that the Spike will struggle to, but a single Moab that has 600 RBE, yeah, no shot that's going to be close. The beauty of having 6 things you can mine is that, like, they're all different cash thresholds too, so they help easily build into the next upgrade. So in one round, I can now mine the 10k, and maybe I should go for Spike Mines instead, because that seems like just a safe play, but I am greedy. Yes, let's go for this now. Trust me, I'm done with the greed now, though. Let's save for it. I'll have to use Striker's level 3 ability if I deem it's needed. I think this round, Cerams come out very quickly, so yes, I'm going to use it. We do have the 25% more Pierce now, which should be helping. Although, geez, that's still tight, and that's not enough, actually. Well, here's something I can do. I guess I could unsubmerge yourself for a little bit of damage. Couple ticks at a time. And that does it. And see, the greed paid off. There's that now. And now comes the big boy save up. For that, I'm gonna get everything I know I need to get in advance, so just get the easiest buffs known. 400 Alk, because that's the same amount of damage done as a 300, and also a Jungle Drums Village that's outside of range of the other towers, so that they don't gain more range. Just the Spike Factory only. Nice. End of this round, 15k cash out. Boom. And we're just short right now of the next jump at 25k, which appears will profit us 12k. So let's get working on that. And then that only leaves us with 2 more. One 22k profit one, and then one massive 60k. I'm not sure this is worth it. I think I'd rather get Super Mines first, and then we can probably easily save 100k on this map to profit the 60k in, say, Freeplay. I'm gonna add a few more buffs that I think will be beneficial. Monkey. Let me just make sure it's out of range of everything. And also has enough range to reach the Spike Factory, because the range is... let's see. Nope, doesn't reach here. How about here? There we go. This, I made sure not to put this in water because it would gain a lot of range if so. And thus, its tentacles will hit the balloons a lot easier and also would be in range of Alk buff, so... glad I threaded the needle for that as well. I'll upgrade the Monkey if I deem it necessary, but right now, I feel like we got enough bonuses already. And perfect. This one perfectly got us the amount for 50k, so now we can get working on the next 22k profit. And after that, if I remember all the numbers, then we would have already profited over $40,000 just before round 80. And so you see why this map is so OP. You normally make only about 180k in Chimps mode. And so if you do get this ultimate removal that takes 20 rounds, then you can profit 100k, which is essentially 50% more income than you normally should have. And even if you don't get the big cash out, it's still plus 40k, which is like 25% approximately. Like, imagine being one of the very first people to have done this challenge, Super Mines 2 Meg Pops on, say, logs. Going through all of that meticulous theory crafting effort to scrape by just enough money to buy Super Mines in time, probably having to retry many rounds in the process, is my assumption. Only for this map to come along, and for that challenge to now be kind of a joke. Because I'm telling you, literally anybody could do this. Also, it does appear that it's not enough round 82 now, so Abyssal Warrior then. Probably a Moat Blue would be handy too, just to buy even more time. But I see a little issue. I guess it's because I don't have bottom path, so some of the spikes up top are actually popping balloons too early. If that's a big enough issue that I have to restart the run, then so be it. I'll put the spike a couple pixels lower, but I think just by spamming Striker ability, this will buy us enough time, while not giving too many pops in the process, yeah. Only 30%. Now, if you think about it, there actually might be some merit to having some of the spikes hit early, because the spikes have a lifespan limit anyway. It's much lower at 420, like 50 seconds, so having them do some damage before they expire actually gives a head start on rounds like, say, 85, and for some reason, I guess 50 seconds of spikes is not enough, so I just have to keep spamming Striker, I think. I end up beating 85, and you'll just have to take my word for it, but 6k off of Super Mines, but with double the ZMGs this time, I think it's over. Spike Mines might not be the god I was expecting it to be, because this is going to be 3 ZMGs exiting at the exact same time. Yeah, it's over. What can I do? Because, like, if I get Moat Glue, that's just going to keep them all slow at the same time. I have to isolate them somehow. Here's one option. I can get a giant Condor to move the BFBs when they pop here back to, like, pretty much the entrance if I put the reticle right over here. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. Now, it does get a lot of pops in the process, which is concerning. I think for the first Moab here, I'll just let the balloons leak first. We're gonna move these back. Come on. Come on, Condor. See what's going on here? We're moving those BFBs back to the 3 loops, so now I just need to do enough mob damage for the 2 ZMGs up there. The issue is that Spike Mines is not really a ZMG damager, but you see, you get the premise there? It worked, but at what cost? And also, you can't really move the Condor away from the track. And we still have now 18k to go, because this is a very expensive tower. I'm thinking alternatively, we could maybe try a Spike Mines. I think if I have 100k on round 80, I could get 2 mines, like, on the very last round, run 100. Alright, I've come to the conclusion that I don't think this is the right path to go for. I've calculated all the pops stolen, and we're pretty much over 40k at this point, so that we're not getting 2 million. Therefore, we're gonna do plan B, like I said. If we go back to round the start of 79, see that we're just 600 bucks off. So we're gonna make a little bit of money here, remove for 100k, and now we're going to put as much money as possible into buffing this thing. So definitely overclock, just anything. Now, it didn't take me too long to realize that this attempt was also futile, because I now don't have an extra 100k to invest in buffing this thing in, because I spent it in the mines. So therefore, not even overclock really helps much. And if we're struggling around 87, then there's only now option C. We're gonna head back all the way to round 10 and replace Spike Factory over here. So this is obviously going to make mid-game much harder, because I can't control spikes on the backside, but this helps prevent waste on the early 80s, which is going to help me be 85 without adding more. Also, not gonna lie, in a way, the Spike Mines actually benefits from being put on the track, because I have not been utilizing its burn when balloons are hit by it, which honestly adds a huge amount of DPS. So it seems like it was just around 20 to 40 that was made more difficult, but this should help in the long run. I think if it did the math right, I afford it on round 87. No, this has done so well so far that I haven't even had to add the Murmucky. At this point, in the last run, I did add it, but if I can skip on that too, then, well, that means I can afford it maybe one round earlier. Quick side note, actually, I moved the outbuff a bit to the right so that it wouldn't outbuff Striker, because if I outbuff Striker, then obviously he'll start doing a lot of damage. Also moved the village away, so it's not in range of Striker either. Now would actually be a wise time to invest in a Moklu if I do struggle, but given I'm only 5k off, I think I just got a gun for it. It's boom or bust here. 84, I think we're gonna handle just fine, although all of these mobs are exiting at the exact same time, so unlucky. What maddens me about all this is that I know it's possible, I just gotta get the good RNG. I think stun on top of all the spike spawning is a good idea, although, that long line of mobs does not inspire confidence. Come on. One more set. Stun here. And there we go. 1.5k off now. I think I just beat this round and we're good. There is one down. Stun this one. Stun again. Easy. Okay, I shouldn't say that after having struggled so long in the last, I don't know, figuring out the right build order, but we did it. Supermines has been afforded, and it's now going to solo with the rest of the game. So let's put it on Uber Fast Forward, and I guess if there is time, we'll see how quickly, or if we are able to save up 100k to unlock this thing, and then make even more money in the process. So, not as trivial as I initially thought it would be, which I guess in a way was better in the end, because I actually, you know, gave some stakes to this challenge. So there it is. I'm not gonna say maybe first completion, I don't know. That was fun though. Do let me know what other kinds of challenges you think we could do with this gimmick in chimps. I've seen a lot of people do some crazy stuff already. And there we go, we did it. We got the 100k. Now let's see if we can survive another 20 rounds to get that 160. That was not the outro, by the way. Just wanted to let you guys, or ask you guys, what you think we could do, because there's so many possibilities. Again, this is just one out of a dozens of them. I feel like at the rate of the power of the super mines, we can probably just go on forever and ever and ever. Like, I'm talking beyond around 200. I don't know if I got it in me for that many rounds, but we'll see how easily we can breeze through. Like, until, I guess, super mines sees a struggle, we ought to keep going. And there's the 160k, so that's why I didn't buy Overclock, because first off, I wanted to get a temple. So I'm looking for the 25k support sacrifice. So this gets me to 18k. Add another village, 030, and there we go. We'll kind of shot it overboard, but now we get 20% cheaper everything and 20% attack speed on the super mines. You sure as hell know the first thing I'm gonna get is an ultra boost, because that saves like 50 or 30k from the original price, and provides a huge power spike. I can't afford it for around 140, but we shouldn't need it. 1 loop, and 2 for the F-bad. And now that we got several abilities that we gotta juggle at once, I feel like it only made sense to just enable powers in chimps here. Turn it into chimps so I don't have to keep spamming this every second. We'll save for Homeland Defense next. Nothing is even close to leaking so far. And after Homeland Defense, we're gonna make the jump to Lord of the Abyss. So that's an extra 20% pierce, 20% more damage on the super mines. And on round 171, we caught the 100 million pop mark. Very cool. We can now afford a Called Arms now, and that's basically, I think, pretty much the end of buffs. I can get an Energizer, just for slightly better cooldowns, but that's about it. In a way, this kind of reminds me of those perfect map showcases where in Chimps mode, I just stacked a bunch of buffs on a tower and saw how long it lasted. I did that with the super mines, and got to the 200s on a, obviously, much longer map. And I fully expected to still get to 200, because I think that's still only 2 loops that the Bloons have gone so far. And that's the end of our buffs with the Energizer. And now, here's what we've been waiting for. Bring on round 200. Does super mines have enough in the tank? I guess one thing I could do is maybe a Chinook might be worth it, just because the spikes at the bottom right now aren't being used up. But let's see if we need it. That's 2 loops. I think it goes through 1 more. And it's gonna pop, but I feel like number 2 is gonna be tougher, because, you know, number 1 ran all the spikes through. I had to use a Striker Stun to survive there. And I don't think we actually make it past this round. Wow. Well, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Wait. Striker Stun again? No, so close, though. So close. Fun run, though, and even though we got to round, like, very deep to round 200, don't forget the struggle that it took to get here, to afford the super mines in the first place. That was the real challenge all along.